Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. I've still got the croaks, but I'm better. Better than yesterday, not better. Yeah, I lost all my energy, I'm just drained. That's what happens, your body uses its energy to fight off these sort of things. So if you start out with not much, you go downhill pretty quick. So obviously I wasn't too bad, but yesterday was a bad day. Today is going to be a better day, and a good night's sleep did me the world of good. So today we will not be doing much at all, apart from getting this done and processed and loaded. And it's the last Sunday chat of 2003. It would be traditional in this last video of the year to sum up the year a bit, but it's been a strange year. You know, there's been some pretty low points. I lost my son, I lost one of my cats. You know, all these things are sent to put us down, and we have to just, well, it's the famous saying, why do we fall? So we can pick ourselves up and try again. You just have to, because the alternative's not worth thinking about. So it's been a strange year, but there's been some good points as well. And looking back over the year, there's some things that didn't get done, or didn't get done often enough, that I want to make amends for. We always try and make what's endearingly known as New Year resolutions, things we would like to give up that don't do us any good. Well, I've already done all that. I don't do the smoking anymore. I've cut my wine down from 5 or 6 bottles a week to 1 or 2. Not cutting it out completely. But things like my trips out, you know, to go and find some native orchids and some butterflies and see some of the English countryside. Did hardly any of that last year. Well, let's do a bit more of that in this coming year. I used to be limited to weekends because I worked. Well, I haven't done that for some time, have I? And then we had COVID, and we all had to stay in and stay away from people. And some of those big open spaces that I really like weren't big and open enough, apparently. Because we all got shut in, didn't we? And then I had a dodgy car for quite a while that, you know, was unreliable at starting. So, you know, you can't end up in the middle of nowhere with a car that's not going to get you home. So, anyway, got no excuse this coming year. So come March, April time, we'll get the maps out and the information and everything and start planning some trips out. They will be weekdays. I always go on my trips out on weekdays because most people are at work and the kids are at school. That doesn't mean I necessarily get the place to myself, but it will certainly be a lot quieter. So we'll do some trips out. We'll visit some gardens. The trips out, orchids, butterflies, they're really an Orchid Channel video, especially if it's mainly native orchids, obviously. But going to gardens that are open to the public, visiting places like Wisley to look round the grounds and things like that, that's gardening videos, you know. And various shows. There's orchid shows, there's bonsai shows to go to. Now I know out of my 3 channels, the Bonsai Channel is the one that's really isolated. The people that are interested in that, I gather, are not that interested in the other 2. So it's always going to be a limited channel with very few people. You know, I just have to accept that. It's a very niche thing. And it's one of those subjects where there are half a dozen or so big, well-established channels, and you can't compete with them, basically. I mean, several of the large nurseries like Greenwood and Herons, they've got thousands and thousands of bonsai trees to look at and choose from and work on. They've always got things to film. I haven't. You know, I've got a couple of dozen trees, and that's not changing. I haven't got room or time to do any more. But there will be bonsai videos coming up. It's getting to the time of year. Once we get to the end of February, March time, there's some trimming to do, there's some wiring to do, and there's some repotting to do. So the Bonsai Channel will start producing videos again when there's work to do. And it's a little bit the same as the Gardening Channel. Thanks for everybody who went over to watch the tree coming down. I think most people enjoyed that saw it. A lot of people have never seen a tree taken down, you know, so for some people that was quite a novelty. I hadn't seen one taken down like that from start to finish, I must admit. So I was interested in watching and making sure nothing got smashed to bits with the large lumps that were coming down. But that was a sort of, I won't say it was a one-off video, but it was an odd video in as much as there aren't lots of things to film for the gardening channel at the moment, but there will be soon. So that my other two channels have quiet times. This one doesn't. This one in theory has something I can film every day, although I am going to consistently take Monday off unless something magical happens or mystical or whatever. Monday's going to be my day off. Most of the time, the other 6 days, we'll get a video of some sort. So it's a frequently populated channel, and lots of things to look forward to on this channel coming up in this year. Various new series, you know, where you get something, if you like that type of video, you know there's another one coming soon, and then another one to follow on that. There's some of that coming up. There'll obviously be things coming into bloom. We've got some things that we will maintain that will last forever, things like Everything in Bloom on the 8th. Monthly video, that doesn't stop. The only reason for not doing that is there isn't anything. And I don't think there could ever be a time when there's nothing in bud, spike or bloom. Not with this number of orchids. You get thin on the ground sometimes, but not nothing. You know, I don't think that's ever going to happen. So that will always take place. And yeah, the other side of the YouTube thing is I treat it as work. I know it sounds odd. My bonsai, my orchids, and now my garden are my hobbies. Yeah? YouTube is my work, and I see it as work because in some instances I get paid for doing it by YouTube and various other means, which we'll do the thank yous for all that in a minute. But yes, this channel, because it's reasonably well established, has got a reasonable following. So there's a number of videos with enough people watching to earn some money to help pay for the place that has to exist for the Orchid Channel to exist, for the orchids to have a home. And it is a catch-22, yeah? Because without that income, I can't maintain the orchid collection. Without the orchid collection, I haven't got a YouTube channel. And round it goes in circles. But in theory, the Orchid Channel slowly but surely gets bigger. I won't say better, that's up to you people to say whether it ever gets better, and your suggestions always help. But yeah, it in theory gets bigger. Now I managed to monetize the Bonsai Channel, but without videos getting added for views where adverts are involved, the income is virtually nothing at the moment. I think last month it was £2.69. So I cancelled the Porsche and the yacht and the world cruise. So yeah, it's pennies basically. And I'm hoping to monetize the gardening channel, and that one's a bit different to the Bonsai Channel. Gardening is a widely accepted topic in the UK. Lots of gardeners around. The trouble is a lot of them are older people and don't watch YouTube, but there's a whole set of younger people getting into doing stuff outside, part of keeping fit, part of getting back to nature, and in some cases partly growing their own food, yeah, so digging the dirt and all that sort of stuff. So I'm hoping to attract people to the gardening channel that are not necessarily anything to do with the other two. They've just found the gardening channel and like what goes on. Not that there's much going on at the moment. Now, as far as monetizing that, we've got the subscribers, and thanks to whoever the people are, but the tree video, I managed to get 10 new subscribers off that video. Now, that could have been people going across from this channel that I asked, you know, well, I said, there's the video if you want to go and see it. But 10 new subscribers in a day or two on a small channel like that is quite good. I was well pleased with that. And what's stopping that being monetized is the watch hours, which is difficult if I'm not making many videos. But as I said, that will change soon. The watch hours are now heading towards 2,300. So I can say just over 700 to go. Well, if you think, you know, at one point I was saying, so just 2,000 to go then. Well, it's just over 700 to go now. So sometime in the spring, that will click over the magic 3,000 watch hours and we can start monetizing that channel too. And it will be like the Bonsai Channel to start with, £2 something a month. I'm hoping that channel will grow. Now, on the subject of the channels, that's what they do and where they are, is the thank yous. Because without the viewers and the comments and the suggestions, they don't exist, do they? There's no point in me standing here talking to myself, as I do. It's funny, my mindset has changed quite a lot over the last few years. I don't see me talking to myself anymore. I see me talking to my online friends in the main. Obviously some new people who are standing there watching it thinking, who's that idiot waffling on? Oh, not interested in that. Well, fair enough, each to their own, but I'm very pleased I have a core following that stay with me, and I'm very grateful for that. It makes it worth getting up in the morning. Because if I thought I was getting up in the morning and creating videos and nobody was going to bother watching them, then I would lose interest. I'd still keep the hobby going, yes, but I wouldn't be filming so much because I sort of think, well, why do I bother? On the bother factor, most of my videos aren't a bother because of the style that I've evolved. It's called Bone Idle, it's called Lazy Bones, it's called doing as little as possible. To a degree, I'm lucky I get away with it. People seem to like what they see. Is this video planned? No. Have I got a script? No. Am I paying somebody for a mystical, magical, super duper thumbnail? No. I don't do any of that. Oh, you noticed. But to a degree I get away with it, and it seems to be popular with the people that stay with the channel. And any suggestions for changing things are gratefully received. If I don't think they fit in with what is most popular, then they won't get done. I'm always listening to suggestions. Somebody banging things around out there. Yes, so I'm eternally grateful for the following. And within that following are people who watch on a regular basis. By watching, you're creating money. You're creating income, whether you realise it or not, because the ads are getting chucked under your nose, for which YouTube gets some money and I get some money. YouTube get quite a lot and I get a little bitty bit. But that's better than nothing, isn't it? And they do provide the infrastructure and the platform free, so I don't have to pay to use it. And I got a feeling one day down the line that might change, but not in the foreseeable future. They earn more than enough the way it works at the moment. So yeah, we got the basic bottom line is watching the videos. It helps. Don't think you're not contributing because you don't get involved with any of the financial support. You are still supporting the channel. Yeah. And leaving a comment is a type of support, because a video that gets 2,000 views and 3 comments, YouTube will put a question mark on. Its algorithm will mark that as odd, because that shouldn't happen. I mean, if you take a comparison, if you take somebody like Danny with 500,000 odd subscribers, she puts a video up, she'll have 5,000 views in half a day. And she might have 20 or 30 comments. I put a video up and 2 days later I might have 20 or 30 comments. Now, I've only got 15,000 subscribers. So my channel gets quite a lot more comments as a percentage of the views. That's good stuff. YouTube sees that as a plus. So leave your comments, even if it's just thanks for the video. And I can say, you're welcome. It all adds to the YouTube view of the channel. It all helps. And then there's the financial side of things. There are those that have become a member. That's dropped off considerably. That was sort of expected. I never expected that to last forever. Those that have stayed members, great. Those that decided to stop paying YouTube so much money and go over to the Patreon site instead, that takes a much, much lower percentage. Thanks for at least staying with something. Thanks for those that do the buy me a coffee now and again. And thanks for those that do, I don't even know what it's called, where there's a comment comes up under a video with an amount of money attached to it. So you're making a donation via a comment. Can't remember what that's called, but I get some of those now and again. All of that collectively, the financial support, goes into the pot to run this place. It doesn't go in Roger's wine list pocket, yeah? It goes in the pot to keep all this going. Maintain kit, yeah? Sort out new orchids. It's a constant replenishment. If you've got a largish collection of orchids, you will always have some dropping off and a few new ones coming in. Like I said, once upon a time I was staying around 180. Well, now it's 140. It's that much smaller. And yet I've got a bigger space. How did that happen then? Hanging space has gone. Yeah, the ability to screw things into the wooden timbers in the roof and have stuff hanging. But even if I had that, I wouldn't be using it much. The reason for the hanging stuff around the other place was the sheer volume of mounted orchids I had. That did well there. They don't do well here. So there's not many mounts left here at all. I can count them from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 6. There's another one lurking. So, oh yeah, 6. It's farther back because it's a shade lover. So 6 mounts. I used to probably have 30 or 40, didn't I? So it's changed quite a bit. So that's an evolution that's happened, you know. And then we've got the evolution to try new genera. I've now got more of the cooler growing type that seem to be doing quite well. And the warmer end are not doing so well. So I'm slowly but surely looking out for things in the arena that seem to be doing well here. And that's where the new ones will come in. And we won't replace the warmer growing ones if they fail, because there's no point. They failed for a reason, so we won't be doing that. So there's been some changes, you know, the types of orchids that I grow. And I quite like it. It can start getting a bit samey, you know, otherwise. But the one thing that has changed here is the number of times I water. That's gone down now. My pots at this time of year are getting watered every 9, 10, 11 days. That's a huge gap. And some of them I pick up and I think, you're still wet from last time, which is not good. I always say if a pot is wet for 3 weeks, the moisture that's in that pot after 3 weeks has got no oxygen left in it, it's stale and it's not doing the plant any good at all. So the ability for plants to head towards dryness is quite important. And for the ability to be able to water a plant is quite important, because when you water, you push out all the staleness and reintroduce fresh stuff that's dragged in behind the water that passes through the pot. So to enable you to do that, you need a media that allows for it at your temperatures and your environment. If you've got a very humid, warm environment, then in theory your pots are going to dry a lot quicker than they do here, and you can chuck water through them a lot quicker. Yeah, so it's all down to the environment. And yeah, we've got the lights to come back on, probably the 2nd or 3rd week in February, because they're off now permanently, they don't come on at all. and I will start introducing them for an hour at the end of the day. A few days like that, then an hour and a half, then 2, yeah, and gradually build up till I get the day length in here back up to 12 hours, yeah, long before out there reaches 12 hours. So I'm forcing the day length early, and in doing so I will also be, yes, what can we do for you? Suppose you want to go out? Yeah, you can't walk past the camera without saying hello, can you? People like to see you. Come and say hello. Right? Who's that? He's a bit bleary-eyed, he's just woke up. Me. You just woke up. I don't know why I talk to him, he's deaf as a post. Come on then. You want to go out? He didn't like the tree man. I don't think the chainsaw disturbed him that much because his hearing's so poor now, almost non-existent. But he didn't like somebody constantly walking past the window and the silhouette against the sky. He didn't like that at all. Right. So, lots of good things to come that I hope you're going to enjoy, and I'm always open to suggestions, as you know. I think in summing up the year, as far as the Orchid Channel itself has been, I've enjoyed doing it. I've enjoyed putting the videos together, but as I said, I am lazy. I do as little as possible, and some of my videos like this one, there's nothing to do. There's no pop-ups, there's no titles, there's no adding pictures in, because sometimes I've got to do pop-ups with words and a picture of a bloom. Every so often, like everything in bloom, everything I film has to have that done. All that takes time. This video, there's no processing at all. Nothing at all. I will load this onto the software and make sure the title's right and things like that. Bring the ending up to the end of it. Make sure it all balances and matches. Save it away, produce it and load it onto YouTube. Takes no time at all. The actual loading onto YouTube takes quite a while at the moment, but I'm hoping to resolve that with my new faster broadband when I get it booked, which will be soon. And another day with the broadband that I've got at the moment, which is Virgin, not yesterday, the day before I think it was, where it went off at lunchtime and it came on and off right through to when I went to bed. It was fine the next day. But there was no consistency, you know, it just wouldn't stay up. Tried rebooting everything and it's just as bad. And it's been getting like that lately, so yeah, we'll get the new one in and see if that's a lot better with any luck. So that'll speed up that thing. But I also think, you know, if a video takes me quite a while to process, what else am I doing? I'm not sort of thinking, oh, I could be doing so-and-so, you know, because I'm not. I don't do a huge amount of things apart from, you know, what goes on here. But I'm looking forward to doing the garden this year and being in it. That's going to be the difference. Last year, every time I went and sat in the garden with a glass of wine in the sunshine, everywhere I looked was jobs. Everywhere I looked was work. Some of that work was, you know, pretty heavy duty stuff as well. Puts you off. Whereas this year I'm hoping when I go out in the garden I can see the results of the efforts from this year going forward into next year. All the plants that we put in coming into growth, hopefully attracting in the bees and the butterflies, keep the bird feeders going this year. I got told off for stopping feeding in the summer. There's two schools of advice there. The birds don't need feeding in the summer and the whole ecosystem is geared up to the birds finding their own food, the balance of nature. And artificially feeding when they've got more than enough food of their own around apparently is not good. But the other school of thought is if you stop feeding in the summer like I did, they will go elsewhere and may never come back. And that's what's happened, I believe, because there's several types of birds that are just not here this year. They've dropped in. I had a pair of goldfinches. They came and they've not come back. A pair of long-tailed tits arrived, stayed for on and off the feeders, up in the tree, back down again for about half an hour. They haven't come back. And I even had a pair of greenfinches. They're a very uncommon visitor. There's just not many around anymore. Well, not in the south of England anyway. But again, they don't come back. So it implies that there's better food somewhere else. Now, if that's their natural food, all well and good. But I suspect the feeders will come into their own when this weather finally breaks and the rain finally stops and we get cold. I know I shouldn't look forward to it because it costs extra money, but it'd be nice to get up and look out the window to that, everything covered in white. Not necessarily, I mean frost. Nice, crisp, fresh morning with brilliant blue sky and a nice bright sun. I love that sort of weather, as long as I can stay inside and not have to go outside and work in it. But yeah, we should get some cold spells. It is the UK after all. Total disruption in this country at the moment. We've had snow, we've had another storm come through with high winds, trees down. We had a mini tornado, went up a street, ripped all the roofs off, chucked all the cars up in a heap, trees down. You know, that's people's Christmas totally ruined, and New Year. So, you know, there's a bad storm came through. We got one going across at the moment, but it's going across up north. Down here, just going to get the sweeping winds and rain coming in one day after the other at the moment. So doesn't seem to be any end to it. There's no sign of any cold weather, not down here. Whereas they had snow and blocked all the roads up north. So weather's all up the Swanee at the moment. I wonder why. Yeah. That's one thing we can't blame on that lot. The cost of looking after yourself is still down to that lot. Anyway, I hope you have a good New Year's Eve, doing whatever you do. I shall be in bed. I shall get another early night. There's no point in me staying up. It's my eldest son's my only son's birthday today. I don't know if he's doing anything. No idea. But with a baby, I doubt if he's doing much, quite honestly. They do tie you down a bit, little Bodie. And yeah, I just hope you have a good time, again, being with the people you want to be with, doing the things you would like to do. And let's hope we all have a good 2024. And I'll end on what could be a high spot for some people that have been around the Orchid channels a long time and may have unsubscribed to a certain channel and haven't seen what's happened. Rick L has posted a video after 4 years. So if you didn't know, go and find it. It's only a chat, short video just to say hi, and I suppose to show he's still around. I mean, when he first started his channel, he wasn't well and he said he didn't have long to go. Well, he's done well if he's managed 4 years, hasn't he? Or 5, 6, whatever, so he's hanging in there. So there's a video on Rick's channel if you want to go and see that. As I say, it's just a chat. But it sounds like he's hoping to do a bit more in some shape or form. I don't know what that will be. What else? That is about it for today, because we're starting to get sore again. I managed to get rid of the sore throat by not speaking from yesterday's video end until this morning. But we are starting to croak again, so we'll give it a miss. And that's it. All I'm going to do now is keep warm and you know, another early night, and hopefully when I get up tomorrow the worst of this will be over. I haven't got to go out tomorrow, so I can stay in the warm and look after myself. A little teaser. When, well, not for orchids, but when the tree man tidied up, he had a big blower, leaf blower thing. And as he whizzed round here, hang on, let's let the singer in. You going to give us a song? much of a song, that's just the chorus. Anyway, man with leaf blower, to get all his twigs and bits and pieces away from the patio, he gave it a blast. He took a lot of leaves off of our planting border. There's lots of green poking up through the soil. So the first video of 2024 will be, let's see what's coming up, because there are things coming up. Things are starting to grow in that bit. So we'll have a look round there. We've even got some blossom on one of the shrubs. So we'll have something to film there. And I was going to say, hopefully choose a nice sunny day, but the sun doesn't get on that bit, not until like quite, almost midsummer before it actually hits that bed. And then it doesn't hit all of it, it only hits some of it. Oh, a lot of people said that'll make the tree coming down will make a lot of difference to the sun in the garden. It doesn't. The tree is in the north corner of the garden. The amount of sun that gets in is not changed one little bit. The amount of actual light has changed quite a bit though. And do you know where I notice it most is the kitchen. The Phalaenopsis are now getting quite a lot more light there, even though there's no sun on the glass. The amount of light has changed quite a bit in the kitchen. So yeah, it'll make a difference to everything in the garden, and the bonsai trees will have more light on them, and it'll be a more rounded light, less directional, because there's now light can come in from that direction that couldn't before. So that'll be good. And yeah, along with my cymbidiums going outside at the appropriate time, be about the middle of May. If it looks like we're having a very mild spring, they might go out. The earlier I can get them out there, the better. Yeah, but I've got to just avoid the frost, even though the cymbidiums would probably survive it. I'm hoping to build some new staging just for the cymbidiums, and some other orchids might be joining them. We shall see. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to sneeze. That's another thing that comes on now and again. Yeah, fooled you. There's a way of stopping a sneeze. Yes, so big thanks to everybody that follows this channel specifically, and the other two if you do. And I know there will be people on the other two channels that don't follow this one. There's that side of things as well, But I'm reasonably confident that certainly most of the people on the gardening channel came from here, and a fair few of the people on the Bonsai Channel came from here too. So we're a group of people that follow possibly the person rather than the subject in some cases. So and that's good if that's true. And I will see you. Now today is Sunday, so tomorrow's my day off, and it's New Year's Day, it's a public holiday. I think I'll take the day off. Oh good. I'll be back on Tuesday with something, providing I'm still on 2 feet and not, hiding in a corner curled up in a little ball sucking me thumb. It's flipping cold. Shoulders ache as well. Ugh. Oh, those of you who said it could be COVID and I should go and get tested, well, first of all, and then what? I always follow any question, what next? Okay, so if I had a test and I tested and it was positive, now what? Nothing. I'm not going to go anywhere, I'm not going to do anything. Nothing changes, I don't need to know. If I got seriously ill, then I would deal with it. But I'm not. If this is COVID, I have symptoms of a cold, and it's getting better already. So if it was COVID, so be it. Doesn't matter. People worry too much. Worry about the things you can change, not the things you can't do anything about. And I hope you have a good time this evening, and let's all look forward to 2024, whatever it's going to bring. I'd like to see a bit of peace around the flipping world. There's some heads I would like to bang together as a consequence, because the stubbornness and boneheadedness of some people is costing a lot of lives. Yeah, you know who you are. The pair of you. Well, there's 3 now. let's try and be peaceful. At least we can. We might not be able to do anything about the big world events, but in our own lives, be nice to people, you know. I think it was somebody on one of the Disney things said, a good thought to end on. If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. Keep the peace. See you next year in a couple of days' time. Bye for now.